Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into a really fascinating personal document. It's a weekly review from someone, well, deeply committed to self-improvement across like a whole spectrum of their life.
Mm,
Our sources are excerpts from the weekly review of Health and Hobbies for 2025 week 33, published August 17th, 2025.
right.
And the mission for this deep dive, basically to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this incredibly detailed self-assessment. What can you learn about setting goals, tracking progress, and, well, navigating the inevitable challenges that pop up with personal growth?
What's truly compelling here, I think, is just the sheer breadth and the detail of this review. It's not just a list of what got done, right?
Yeah, not at all.
It digs into the why behind the ups and downs,
Yeah.
the lessons learned, the constant adapting. It really gives you a transparent window into the realities of trying to improve, multiple facets of your life all at once.
So let's start where a lot of these personal improvement journeys begin. Health. The author sets very specific targets here, like aiming for 7 hours of sleep daily and 5,600 walking steps.
Pretty standard goals for many people.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting with the sleep data. While the average, it came in high at 7.14 hours, the actual pattern, it showed significant variation. We're talking lows of 5 hours, highs of 9 hours.
Oh, quite a range.
And get this, multiple fragmented sleep sessions, sometimes in a single day, some lasting just an hour, others up to 7.
That immediately brings up a crucial question.
Yeah.
What's behind that kind of variation, especially when the average looks okay?
Well, the review spells it out.
Ah.
It explicitly links it to recurring inflammation instances, which clearly disrupted their normal sleep cycle.
And that highlights something so important, doesn't it? An underlying physical issue can completely derail even the best intentions for sleep goals. It shows how vital it is to track the patterns, not just the averages. You need to understand the root cause.
That makes perfect sense. And speaking of physical activity, let's look at walking. The target was 5,600 steps daily.
Okay.
The average they hit was approximately 4,911 steps per day. So a little under the goal.
Right. Still quite active, but short.
Yeah, and again, activity levels varied quite a bit. A peak of nearly 7,000 steps, but then a low of only like 1,451.
Big difference there. And the reason...
The author again put it down to that recurring inflammation, specifically hitting them over the weekend. They traced it back to some diet changes.
Okay, so the inflammation is a recurring theme. What did they do about it, though? That's the interesting part.
Well, this is where their adaptability really comes through, I think, instead of just pushing through the pain or the fatigue.
Which many people might try to do.
Exactly. They consciously took the opportunity to rest, actually fell asleep after dinner one day, cut down on errands.
Smart. Listening to their body.
And the key learning they pulled out was this realization, quote, "You don't need to be active for the entire week, but at least 5 random days throughout the week instead."
Now, that is insightful. It's not just about being flexible. It's like a profound rethinking of what consistency even means. Moving away from rigid daily adherence to something more like a sustainable rhythm. That's a really valuable lesson for anyone caught in that all-or-nothing thinking trap with self-improvement.
That's a great takeaway. Shifting to diet, the author was aiming for 16.8 intermittent fasting. The 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window, pretty popular approach.
Very common.
And their weight, it stayed remarkably stable all week, started at 66.55 kilograms, ended at 66.55 kilograms, really narrow fluctuation in between.
That's impressive stability.
It is, though interestingly, they did admit to having supper one day, said it was due to midnight hunger pangs.
Happens to the best of us.
Right, and that did explain a slight weight bump the next day. But despite that little blip, their overall goal is stated as a transition to normal meals as much as possible.
Well, the consistent weight really makes sense when you look at their diet summary.
Yeah.
Mostly self-cooked meals, only ate out once.
Control, right.
Exactly, control. And their diet ratio was about 2.1.2 or maybe 1.2.2 for plants, protein, carbs. They mentioned increasing vegetable and fruit intake. So this real focus on cooking at home, it just underscores a commitment to managing consumption and quality themselves rather than, relying on outside food.
Good point. And just quickly, on the physical front, they did note still struggling to build that daily push-up habit.
A common struggle. Habits are tough.
Totally. But they are incorporating other things like gardening works, raking leaves, prepping garden areas, finding activity in different ways.
Creative integration.
Okay, so beyond the physical body, the author also focuses on, let's say, exercising the mind through meditation. They practice a progression, 3 steps of sitting meditation, typically just for about a minute.
which sounds short, but consistency is key. And what's really insightful here is how meditation isn't just confined to that formal sitting practice.
Right, they mention other types.
Yeah, they incorporate walking meditation for 1 to 5 minutes, doing it during occasional walks, grocery runs, even while raking leaves or doing house chores.
That's fantastic.
It really demonstrates integrating mindfulness into everyday life, doesn't it? Turning mundane tasks into little moments of mental calm. And another key mental practice they talk about is mentally noting your thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Described it as stoic as usual, even when feeling unwell.
Stoic as usual, I like that.
It speaks volumes, I think, about a consistent effort towards emotional awareness and resilience, even when things are physically uncomfortable.
Okay, let's move to practical skills. Cooking comes up. The author sees it as a crucial way, quote, to take control of our consumption and manage it ourselves, rather than relying on others and learn new skill.
A very intentional approach to cooking.
Definitely, and they're actively learning, trying to prepare vegetable in the fast and effective manner. Specifically mention making regular miso soup with vegetables, prawns, tofu, sometimes beans mixed with noodles. Also exploring different ways to cook eggs, like hard-boiled and steamed.
Sound like they're building a good repertoire of simple, healthy meals.
Yeah. Now, related to managing things, decluttering, how does intentionality play out there?
Well, this brings up an important point about the gap that can sometimes exist between our intentions and, well, consistent action, especially on bigger tasks.
The reality check.
Exactly. So for decluttering, the goal is clearly stated to adopt a minimalist lifestyle. The method sounds simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
On the way to the kitchen, clear one item from any areas within the house. Sort of a micro-habit approach.
Seems doable, but...
But the review frankly states, nothing much on this week.
Yeah.
And while they're still clearing receipts in the workspace...
Okay, some progress there.
Some, yeah. But there's still no progress on the replacement curtains and the neglected drawer.
Ah, the neglected drawer. We all have one of those, metaphorically or literally.
We really do. And that neglected drawer, it isn't just a physical thing, is it? It's kind of a powerful metaphor for those bigger goals that just seem to stay out of reach until we figure out how to apply maybe more structured micro-actions, rather than just relying on good intentions floating around.
So relatable, that neglected drawer challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, switching gears again, let's look at intellectual pursuits. Reading, how is that framed?
It's seen as a tool, specifically to improve my writing, consume wisely, and boost my mental health.
Multifaceted goal. Any specific reading?
Well, there's a specific book mentioned, Your E-Check,
Yeah.
which translates roughly to a guide for managing the 3 highs, blood pressure, blood sugar, lipids, common health concerns.
Right. And the progress on that.
The review says, still nothing on this yet.
Okay.
However, the author does dedicate 5 to 10 minutes each day to just browsing a variety of books that pique your interest, skimming fiction titles, some gardening books. So still engaging with books, just maybe not that specific one yet.
Keeping the reading habit alive, even if not hitting that specific target. Makes sense. Now, what about coding? That seemed quite ambitious.
Yeah, from a learning perspective, the coding section is quite insightful. The goal is stated as daily PR contributions.
PR being pull requests, right, for contributing code changes.
Exactly. To specific languages they list.
Yeah.
Go, Python, Elixir, Erlang, or REST-GPR they call it. And for listeners, a pull request is basically how developers propose changes to a project's code. It's a key way to contribute, especially in open source.
So daily contributions, do they manage it?
Well, not strictly daily, no. But the author notes they are starting to picking up again. How? By finding intriguing projects while hopping through GitHub repositories, addressing trivial typos across various projects.
Ah, so finding smaller, easier ways in. Fixing typos is a classic way to start contributing.
Precisely, lowering the barrier to entry. And for their own recreation pet projects, they mentioned learning a trick or two from suggested changes from AI itself.
Oh, interesting. Using AI as a coding assistant or tutor, essentially.
Yeah. It demonstrates finding motivation in those smaller, more accessible tasks, and also cleverly leveraging new technologies to keep learning and moving forward, even if not hitting the big daily goal perfectly.
That's a great example of adapting. Okay, what about writing?
The goal there is to publish 2 posts per day and read back old posts. Seems focused mainly on their existing topics. Gardening, dieting, sometimes fish keeping.
2 posts a day is quite a lot.
It is ambitious. However, that specific goal to blog about interesting PR or libraries on Go, Python, Elixir, Erlang, or Rust. GPR.
Let me guess.
Nothing on this yet.
Seeing a pattern with some of the newer or more complex goals.
Definitely.
Okay, let's explore their connection with nature and creativity now. Fish keeping was mentioned. Goals included setting up a yellow-blue rack, not sure exactly what that entails, but okay, and finding fish and plant species for some outdoor ponds they want to make in plastic containers.
Sounds like some interesting aquatic projects.
Yeah, but for both, the review notes, still nothing on this yet. Or rather, no significant progress was noted this week.
Right. And these nothing yet or no significant progress entries, they aren't necessarily failures, are they?
How do you mean?
Well, I think they often highlight that initial friction we all feel when starting something new, especially if it's complex or requires setup. It's a good reminder that even for someone this dedicated, there's inertia to overcome when an activity needs, say, significant upfront research or buying materials or just mental energy to initiate. Intention is just the first step.
So that's a fair point. It grounds the whole process in reality. What about gardening? Any more progress there than with the fish?
Yes, actually. In gardening, the goal of growing plants from seeds or cuttings did see some movement. They resumed my seed germination projects on basil plant.
Okay, something tangible.
Exactly. And for another goal, setting 4 new different workspaces, there were some cleanups on the backyard balcony, so progress there too.
Good, but
Still nothing on the grouting works on the tile in the front yard balcony.
So again, that mix, small, tangible successes happening alongside those larger, maybe more tedious tasks that keep getting deferred. It feels very real, very human.
Totally. It's a picture most of us can probably recognize in our own lives.
And finally, quickly, photography. Goal was to find the best macro lens for your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Status. A little movement here this week, again.
Okay.
So let's pull back. What does this all really tell us? This deep dive into just 1 week of someone's detailed review. It really shows the incredible dedication required for broad self-improvement, doesn't it? Across health, mind, skills, hobbies.
It really does. It's a testament to the power of tracking things in detail, for sure.
But it's also, I think, a very realistic look at how life intervenes. You know, whether it's actual inflammation or just hunger pangs, or frankly, the sheer number of different projects someone puts on their plate.
Absolutely. And zooming out even further, this review reveals that progress just isn't always this neat, linear thing we imagine it should be. Consistency can show up in surprising ways.
Like finding activity in gardening instead of push-ups.
Exactly. Or making those small coding contributions by fixing typos. It wasn't the original grand plan, maybe, but it was doing something. Moving forward, learning, adapting. And this, I think, raises an important question for you, our listener. In your own journey of self-improvement, how do you balance those ambitious goals you set with the, let's face it, messy realities of daily life?
That's a tough balance to strike.
It is. And perhaps even more importantly, how do you define progress for yourself when things inevitably don't go exactly according to plan? Is progress only perfect execution? Or is it also about the consistent intention, the learning, the adapting you do every single week, even when you hit those roadblocks?
Something to definitely ponder as you reflect on your own efforts.